This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News, news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
We All Be Radio is proud to have on Brother E.D.I once again, the Outlaw Immortals, one of Tupac inside Inner Circle, and also a great artist in his own right. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, man, I can't complain.
That's great, man. I also want to talk about, I don't want to touch on some Tupac stuff, but I also want to talk about what's going on with the Outlawz right now.
Let's do it. Hello?
Y'all here?
We just dropped a new album, September 13th. It's called Perfect Timing.
What's the significance of the new album coming out on that date?
Well, actually, we wanted to just turn a negative date into positive. It's always been associated with the passing of Pac, and we figured, let's just drop something real special. Our best body of work to date on that date, and, in our own little way, turn a negative into a positive.
That's great. I've not been hearing a lot of y'all mixtapes from the previous years. Pretty great work in the mixtapes. And so what has been the response from the streets about the Perfect Timing?
The response is wonderful, man. Everybody agrees that it's probably not only our best body of work, but also one of the best albums to come out in the genre of hip-hop in 2011.
That's great.
I don't think that's an overstatement. Anybody who's heard the album is feeling the cohesiveness, feeling the guest appearance that we got on there. We got everybody on there from Scarface, Crazy Mom, Roy, Trader Tree, Hero, and et cetera. The list goes on. We got some great surprises on there. We took some chances on this one. We try to do songs with people, our fans wouldn't normally expect us to do songs with, but always wanted us to do songs with. People like Tech Nine, who's on a song called Like It's New Year. And I just think it's a great album for hip hop. It ain't too over the top, but it still keeps your attention and keeps you focused on what you gotta do in life, period.
And where can people copy of this album?
Oh, it's everywhere, from online, iTunes, Amazon. You can go to Best Buy, go to the store, get it. As the album circulates and gets around, it's kind of like a movie. Like some small bunch of movies won't be in all the theaters, but that's how this album is. You got to kind of go out there and seek it. If you really want to hear it, you got to go out there and find it, or you can just, log on and download it.
And also, what's your website URL?
We're online real heavy at outlawsmedia.net. We're also all over Twitter, Facebook. We have a Facebook fan page. We're also doing some real exciting stuff with Tupac.com in the month of November. So we want everybody that hasn't logged on to Tupac.com, make sure that they do that, and especially log on in the month of November. Check out the things we got going on for the month of November, and for the rest of the year.
That's great. And also, what has been the response from the radio? Has it been easy to get radio play of your new album? If people are saying this is one of the best albums of the year, has it been easy or difficult to get radio play?
Actually, we haven't even been attempting to get radio play per se. All the DJs got the records, you know what I'm saying? But as far as going to get radio play, you got to go to radio with a check. You know what I'm saying? And, we're not willing to play that game. We'd rather use other avenues to get our music to the people instead of playing that pay-for-play game.
I heard that. What about, is this true that it might be the last Outlaw album? Is this the last album for the Outlawz, or is that not true?
It's very true. It's very true. It won't be the the last album as far as us as a unit, but as far as the Outlaw brand and name, it might be time to let that kind of go on and move on to something new. I feel like we've been outlaws since the beginning of our career, since day one, and now it's time to move on in different directions, man, especially if we keep dropping this quality music and we can't get the support that we need to keep on dropping. This is what we do for a living. This is how we feed our families. And if it's not working, you got to move to something else. And not to say that it's not working, but some things kind of run their course. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything can't be the same forever. So you got to reinvent yourself, come back a new way, come back to the game a new way, and just keep pushing it in that direction, still moving forward. All the Outlaw brothers it's a unique brotherhood from where we started before this music, and then got into this music. And we'll always be brothers even without the music. But, just because, we're not the Outlawz no more don't mean we won't be brothers or we won't do music together. Like I said, it's just time to move in a different direction. So, stay tuned because we'll always be doing something new and exciting. We're never going to bore you, that's for sure. And entertainment is the number one thing, you know what I mean? Entertainment along with education.
That's so true. But have you been surprised in terms of the lack of support from the industry, in terms of y'all, not that long ago, we're getting played on the radio along, with Tupac and the Outlawz. Y'all getting played on the radio. Y'all had access to certain things. Have you been surprised at how the industry has treated the Outlawz? Go ahead.
Not at all, because, we never really had a strong relationship with radio per se because we never were a radio-friendly kind of a group. This is probably our most quote-unquote radio-friendly album to date. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even on purpose. That's just what we was feeling. That's just what the music was saying to us. And, once we got done with it, we realized, we got a lot of records that can play on radio, but that wasn't even on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say if radio was to wake up one day and embrace this album and start playing us, that we would hate that. We would embrace that as well. But we don't rely on radio play to move our units or, get our music out to the people.
Yeah,
the lack of radio play is not like a surprise or it's not like a hindrance to the movement we're trying to do because it's so many other avenues out there to deliver your music to the people that, if you just relied on radio, you'd be a fool.
I definitely agree with that. And also I want to ask you this, I talk to different musicians out in different genres, like, R&B and soul and jazz. And they talk about the difficulties of getting bookings in the United States, but the ease that they have of going overseas and finding bookings, Is it difficult for you all to get bookings here versus overseas?
Absolutely, because you're booked based upon what you're doing at radio. So if you don't have a lot going on at radio, in the United States specifically, you're not going to be doing a lot of shows. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we do the majority of our shows overseas. Like, I'll be remiss if I didn't send a shout-out to Canada right now because for the past year and a half, we've been just going back and forth to Canada after not really doing Canada for like the first 10 years of our career. So, you know what I'm saying, I want to send a special shout-out to Canada because they know good hip-hop. Also Germany, Australia, you know what I'm saying, the Netherlands, you know what I'm saying, Amsterdam, Holland. All these places know great hip-hop. Africa, they know great hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, because they support those artists and they keep bringing them back as to where those artists can have a career.
Yeah, I know. I talk to people like musicians. I mean, it's like you said, it's a fraternity. Y'all brothers. I don't care what type of music that you are into or practice. Y'all still share some of the same struggles and need to address those things. I know I talk to some musicians, like they go overseas to Japan, and the people that are real fans. Not only fans of the stars, but they know the personnel that day in the studio that made the song. I mean, they know all the little background stories on these people that a lot of us over here take for granted. And do you feel like, disappointed that so many people, like I said, I feel like y'all were professors for me in terms of you, Tupac, and Outlawz. Y'all really taught us something. I mean, my generation going through school and whatnot, high school and college, that a lot of people that were influenced by you all give y'all the cold shoulder in terms of helping y'all get access. I mean, there's a lot of rappers working today because of what y'all have done, how y'all laid it down for the last 10, 15 years. I mean, have they approached you all to help you out in terms of getting access?
Some have and some don't. I got to send a special shout out to my brother Young Buck. You know what I'm saying? He has, kept it 100 and been the same dude no matter whether he was on top of G Unit to when he got away from G Unit. You know what I'm saying? Buck is a real dude. So right off the top, his name comes to mind because Buck, at the height of his career, you know, took the time out to say, yo, y'all come on the road with me. Let's make some music together. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we did. And he did that at a time when it wasn't really popular to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of rappers are kind of like groupies, so to speak. They want to do music with whoever's popping. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's popping right now. And if you quote unquote ain't popping, even though your music could still be strong and be relevant, they kind of shy away from you. You know what I'm saying? Or their managers or their labels tell you, nah, cause you know me, certain other, you know, people part of the clique have done songs with major artists, and then you'll realize when the album come out, your verse is not on that song, and you say to yourself, damn, did I kill it that much that dude had to take me off, or was it a record company thing, or was it a management thing? Nah, don't mess with them Outlawz, you know. They was down with Death Row, and they was down with Pac, and, you know, you can only imagine what you can hear. And at times, we definitely feel like we've been blackballed in this industry. But the real artists, you know what I'm saying, all the artists that's on this Perfect Timing album, you know what I'm saying, like, again, like I said, Young Buck, and I'm sure it's a couple more that I'm forgetting. Can't forget Dead Prez, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure it's a couple more that I'm forgetting that, you know, keep it 100 and stand their hand, and we do music together, we go on the road together, what have you. It's not the whole industry, but it is a certain few that feel like, you know, it might not be a good idea to do business with us for whatever reason.
Well, I'm afraid, man, like people like y'all, but y'all actually made, you know, hip-hop history. Y'all continue to make history with your quality music. But I'm afraid that, you know, what's happening to hip-hop right now is the same thing that happened to rock and roll and so many other genres of music that we helped pioneer as black people, is that people are forgetting about the practitioners, man. Because, I mean, if they don't pay homage and respect to the Outlawz, and what y'all had put down for years, man, I'm afraid for our kids in terms of they might look at one day and think that hip-hop or rap is a white people music. I mean, I know it's a white practitioner, but I'm saying like it's going that way.
Oh, that's very possible. You know, that reminds me of a conversation I had with Shock G about 14 years ago. And we was just sitting around shooting the shit, and somebody asked Shock G what they thought about the future of hip-hop was going to be, and this was pre-Eminem. Shock G said white boys. He said white people going to get into the rap game and start telling their story. And they going to take over hip-hop because, you know, just numerically there's more white people than it is black people. And, you know, like I said, that was pre-Eminem, you know what I'm saying? And then 2 years later, Eminem came out, and the rest is history. And you're starting to see that more with the Machine Gun Kelly, with the Yellow Wolves, you know what I'm saying? They're starting to, you know, Krishan or Creation. I don't really know how she pronouncing her name, but, you know, with her, you know what I'm saying, definitely white people coming in and trying to get they play in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, so long as we maintain some type of control and authenticity, it'll always be ours. Once we lose that, then, you know, we'll go the way rock and roll went, because what happened in rock and roll was we originated with, you know, the white boys came in and started doing it, and then we started emulating them.
Right. That's something, man. This is a very powerful statement you just made, man. I'm just worried because, I feel like the hip-hop history and the rap should be taught in the classrooms, too. But then I look at the people that are controlling the narrative of the hip-hop history story. I look at the stuff that VH1 has done. I think it's the hip-hop a disservice. But also it did some good, but it's doing hip-hop a disservice and how they're laying out the history of hip-hop. I look at the fact that a lot of museums and academic places, they won't let the real practitioners help in the exhibit or tell their own story.
Yeah, like I said, that all boils down to control. You know what I'm saying? Once you relinquish control of something that was yours, it's that much harder to get it back. So, you know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, we do control ourselves. It's more, you know, CEOs in the hip hop world than probably in any other music form, as far as African Americans. You know what I mean? So we just got to maintain that end of it, so we can always control our own destiny. But like I said, as soon as we let that go, then, you know, it'll be that much harder times 10 to get it back.
It's so true, cause I remember when you were talking about that. I remember before Eminem came out too, when Time Magazine did a article, they dedicated a magazine edition to the 20 years of hip hop. You know, they had Lauryn Hill and all these great, you know, hip hop was booming. The rap music was making more money than any other genre of music at the time. You know, top charting and everything. And they talking about how the hip hop or rap music was rare because the biggest stars in music were black. Then, like you said, like a year later, Eminem came out and just changed the whole thing.
Yeah, you know, and don't get me wrong, I feel like, you know, Eminem is an incredible lyricist, an incredible artist, you know what I'm saying? But without Dr. Dre giving him his stamp of approval,
exactly.
You don't know about Eminem. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
True.
You don't know about Eminem. So even in hip-hop, it's going to have, its credibility is the number one deciding factor that makes a successful hip-hop artist, whether he's white, black, yellow, purple, or green. If he's not credible or he doesn't have somebody vouching for his credibility, people ain't going to fuck with him. You know what I mean? And so long as that remains to be a rule in hip-hop, we should be okay. But as soon as you don't have to have credibility, which is slowly becoming the trend, because now you don't have to have credibility with some of these artists. Some of these artists just got in the game and just got on just because. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time in hip-hop, somebody has to vouch for you, say, yeah, I'm fucking with him, so y'all should fuck with him. As soon as that rule is out the window, then we have a major problem.
Man, you're like, what do you mean in terms of, like, I want to break it down because people got these perceptions about what credibility really is. You know, folks talk about street cred. What are you talking about in terms of credibility as an artist? What are you talking about or referring to?
I'm not really talking about street credibility because Eminem wasn't an artist that had major street credibility. You no longer need street credibility to be successful and the smartest. But you do need credibility as far as being an artist that people seem to care about listening to. Because there's so many other artists in the game that is flooded, it's convoluted. You know what I'm saying? So somebody has to vouch for you. Or you have to have a mixtape DJ vouch for you. You know what I'm saying? In the case with Drake was from Canada. There has been no other Canadian artist to ever be as large as Drake. But as we see, it took, Lil Wayne and Young Money to give him that stamp of approval for the streets to even fuck with Drake. Because up until then, he was just a hot mixtape artist. You feel what I'm saying? Lil Sean was a hot mixtape artist for several years before he blew. It took Kanye to say, you know what, he's hot because I say he's hot. Same with Wale or Meek Mill. It took Ross to say, you know what, they hot because I'm hot and I say they hot. So that's always been a rule in hip-hop. There's really no other artist that has gotten on without that stamp of approval from somebody that was already, in the game, so to speak.
I mean, that's very true what you said. I mean, even with the Outlawz, you said a lot of doors were open because y'all association with Tupac, correct?
Absolutely.
And what do you think? Like, are there any? Because like their era of music, like Tupac, you talk about Jay-Z and Biggie, they had to pay some dues in terms of like you talk about credibility. They had to come through some circles in order to get to a certain point. Do you feel like that has been lost now in this generation of rappers? Not paying their dues to get to a certain plateau?
Not really. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a misconception and a mistake a lot of people will make. But if you check anybody's history in hip-hop that's on top of the game right now, they had to put in some work to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's years and years and years of hard work, paying dues, getting doors shut in your face before you reach that plateau. You know what I'm saying? And the proof is in the pudding. Just go and look through anybody's background and you'll see. You know what I'm saying? From Lil Wayne to whoever else you want to name, they all put in years of work before they got to the point where they at now.
Do you feel overall, if you're looking back on your career and looking at the stuff that you're doing now, that you are a success? Do you feel like a success? Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I've been able to, maintain a career that, feeds me and my family. And I've also, been successful to the point at time where I can help change other people's lives and my family. I never sacrificed my principles or my morals. I never, quote unquote, sold out. Be successful. I can look in my mirror. I can look in the mirror and look at myself. lay my head on my pillow and sleep easy at night, because everything I did with integrity. You know what I'm saying? And on the strength of a code that me and my brothers, came up with almost 20 years ago. So, yeah, I definitely feel successful.
Do you have any... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Brother E.D. Go ahead.
I was just going to say hip-hop has been real good to me and the people around me.
I'm definitely glad to hear that, man. Cause, I'm glad you define success on your own terms, because it's not for me to people get caught up in the wrong things in order to define their success. And success to me is just a personal thing and evaluation. And I want to ask you this, too. Are there any plans to do... because everybody's telling y'all stories. Like, I had, a guy over there with you, John Potash, who wrote a book about Tupac and some other people. Are y'all planning as the Outlawz to do any memoirs or autobiographies or biographies or documentaries in your own words?
That remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the only one of us that's doing anything close to that will be Napoleon. He's doing his Life of an Outlaw. E.D.I. actually is done. He's just looking for distribution. You know what I'm saying? He's telling his whole story. Hussein Fatal wrote a book that's telling his own story from his perspective. But other than that, I don't really know if anybody else is planning on doing that. And the story isn't over. So I kind of feel like, me personally, I'm not ready to tell that story, because my story didn't end with Tupac's story, and it ain't over now. I still got a lot more to do. I still got a lot more, comments to put in my name, as far as what he did while he was here. So, like I said, stay tuned, man. One thing it won't be is more.
I was going to actually speak to Tupac. I know they trying to work on this movie thing. There's hitting some snags in the road from what I read. Have they approached you about the movie idea about Tupac's life? Anybody from the Outlawz?
Yeah, definitely. I'm well aware of it. You know what I'm saying? And, we'll be involved to whatever capacity they need us in. It is some snags in the road right now, but you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that'll get to the screens in the next couple of years. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times with a movie of this caliber, it's not going to just happen overnight. And everybody that's involved all agrees that it should be done on the level of a biography like Malcolm X's movie was done, or Ray Charles. It shouldn't just be thrown together, so everybody can make some money. So I think until everything is ironed out as far as the creative side, you probably won't see that movie.
I hope it will be on the level with some of the movies you just said. What were your thoughts about the B.I.G movie and also the portrayal of Tupac by Attn?
Well, I kind of thought, no disrespect to, Biggie's mom or anybody that was involved with that movie, but I just felt like they could have did a little bit better job on that movie, you know what I'm saying? And I would hate to see a pop movie done in the same fashion, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen the movie in its entirety. I've seen, maybe about an hour or so of it, but just the response from different people that saw the movie and their disappointment in it, you know what I'm saying, kind of made me to believe that they could have done a better job on that. MC of this caliber, you know what I mean? But as far as Anthony Mackie's portrayal, I think Anthony Mackie is a good actor. Unfortunately, I think he was given a weak script. And because he did not know Tupac, he just knew whatever he saw in the media or had clips that he can look into and emulate. He did the best he could probably do. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, unless Pac is here to play himself, nobody's going to be happy with the portrayal somebody else does Pac, because people are so passionate about him and about his life that they're never going to be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he was kind of at a disadvantage, unfortunately, because he was playing somebody that people care so much about. You know what I'm saying? Even if he walked up in there and walked and talked like Pac, people still would be like, oh, man, Anthony Mackie fucked up and I don't like this shit. You know what I'm saying? So props to the homeboy Anthony Mackie for even, taking on such a challenge. I felt like he did the best he could.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it was a no-win situation for him. But he could have reached out to you all, though. I mean, cause actors do research, you know what I'm saying? He didn't try to reach out to anybody from the Outlawz, anybody from Tupac or something.
Oh, nah. We didn't get a phone call on that one, bro.
And I'm like, you know, when you play yourselves, do y'all want to play yourselves in Tupac biopic? Or...
I mean, I don't have to. I think it would make sense, you know what I'm saying? Because who else better to do it than us? But, you know, me, I don't have to, man, because, like, I don't base my life in what I do around what goes on with Tupac after, you know, September 13th, 1996. You know, I really don't have a lot of control over a lot what goes on with him and his career. So I just, whatever they need me at, I'm there for it. You know what I'm saying? If they don't need me, then I'll be at the movies watching it like everybody else.
But if you could play yourself, who would you want to play you? Who would you like to see play you?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. Whoever he is, he's going to have to be exceptionally fly. You know what I mean? He's going to have to be, you know, very charismatic. And it's hard to get that combination all in one package. Now, I'm just fucking around, but seriously, I don't know. I don't know what acting. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, it's really not a concern to me, man, because I really lived it. You know what I'm saying? And that's more history. You know what I'm saying? So that's just for the people to enjoy. You know, that's entertainment, and I don't really care, man. It's hard for me to answer that question because I really don't care.
I mean, I understand. I mean, you are a living legend. You are a living legend, definitely, no doubt about that. I was just looking at the fact that they take it so long to find, like you said, a perfect Tupac. It's gonna be hard. But some people that crossed my mind that could play Tupac or could have played Tupac. I was thinking about Merlin Santana, who was passed away about 2003 or more.
Wow! You just literally sent the chill up my back because Merlin was a homeboy of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow!
We used to be out in the valley. We used to go to the same little spot to get our brain food from. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we would always see each other. There. And Pac's sister said to me one time, like, that's the only person I could see.
Yeah, he was great.
Pac. And I told him that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, whenever the movie get done, whenever the movie is ready, whenever the script is ready, I want to do it. It would be an honor for me to do it. So, you know, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, Merlin ain't here no more. He was a good dude, you know what I'm saying? And we all miss him and love him. And R.I.P. to Merlin Santana, man. He was really a good dude. And he was actually the only person I could see playing that role, too.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been excellent, man. That's unfortunate. He was an actor. And also, he was from New York, too, right? He from the Bronx or something? Was he from the Bronx?
Yeah, he was from New York originally.
So he had that swagger, like, you know, pop like all y'all got. And also, what about, if it was a made-for-TV movie, I would think Ray J, probably. I don't think he's for the feature-length film. But what about the cat from, I'm just trying to find an unknown, but it's a cat that was on Lottery Ticket with Bow Wow and Ice Cube. Bow Wow's friend, he might fit it. I mean, I don't know. He might be a fit for what they're looking for. He might be. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
All right. Cause he kind of like a young pop with the hair and stuff, but he kind of like, maybe he could y'all could coach him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, Bow Wow expressed interest in playing one of the outlaws in that movie.
Oh, wow. I think that would work. I mean, especially he's a rapper and stuff, and he's right there. Y'all could just hook up.
Yep. And Bow Wow's a decent actor to me. I think he got chops.
Yeah, I think so too. And like, well, you think that the rappers get a hard time in terms of their credibility when it comes to acting? I mean, y'all performers and stuff. Why can't y'all be exceptional actors? Now, I have seen some rappers who can't act. I ain't gonna say their names. They know who they are. You know, they just get a paycheck. But I'm saying, do you think it's bad that rappers get this bad knock on not being great actors? Because I look at somebody like Will Smith or Queen Latifah, or basically the most gifted of all the rappers who could act was Tupac. I mean, he was a gifted actor.
You know, he was definitely a gifted actor. You know, I think he had a little bit more training than some of these other rappers/actors, so he kind of had a little, you know, an advantage in that department. But I think of some rappers that's made the transition very well. Like Queen Latifah is the number one example to me. I think she's excelled in TV, movies, very well, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think, yeah, sometimes we get a bad rap, but then sometimes it's well-deserved because there's some horrible movies that's been made by some rappers. There's been some horrible roles that's been played. You know, you can definitely tell when somebody's just trying to get a paycheck. And I think you should take the, you know, the craft a lot more serious, you know what I'm saying? A lot more serious. If you're going to be an actor, really get up in here and try to, you know, get your feet wet in all aspects of the art form instead of just going to the set, you know, to get a paycheck and, you know, add another feather to your cap as a rapper/actor, you know?
I definitely agree with that. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna just revisit Tupac for a moment about that night in Vegas. I mean, the police claim that nobody want to talk to the authorities about what happened to Tupac that night. Was it true, or that the fact that the police didn't make any inroads to talk to you all? What's the truth behind that?
I mean, it's true and then it's untrue. You know what I'm saying? Because we told them, you know what I'm saying, we told them what we knew. You know what I'm saying? It was that simple. It was a white Cadillac rolled up and some arms started shooting. I mean, like, what else do y'all want us to tell y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, the police wanted us to solve the crime for them. Like, we knew who actually did it. You know what I'm saying? We was just as surprised as anybody else when the shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think they were a little overzealous in their attempt to pull information from us. And when it happened, we were treated like the ones that did the shooting. We was thrown out on the strip, face down on the floor with shotguns in our face and told not to fucking move. You know what I'm saying? And they were going to blow our heads off. We was asked about our tattoos, what gang are we in, and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? So when you're being treated like that, you know what I'm saying, and you're being spoken to in that manner, hell yeah, you're going to clam up. I don't want to talk to you because you in my face like I'm the problem, and my homeboys over there leaking.
That's true, but was it also true that y'all had bodyguards with no weapons on them? I mean, were they off-duty Las Vegas police?
No, they weren't. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it is true that there was some unarmed, you know, officers around, you know what I'm saying? And there's been a plethora of information on that. Everybody kind of knows, you know what I'm saying, through you know, the different DVDs and documentaries why that was.
And you remember what you were doing at the time before it happened? I mean, I know y'all was in the entourage or whatever. Do you remember anything from the night before the incident happened? What you was thinking about, who you was talking to?
Sorry about that, brother. Now,
are you fine?
Question again?
Now, I was saying, do you remember what you were doing the night before the incident went down with Tupac getting shot?
We was in Vegas, man. We was doing what people do in Vegas.
I know I heard that, Tupac, his Road to Glory, the song he recorded for Mike Tyson, that's amazing that he was able to write that song. I mean, he just did it in a couple hours, right, before the fight? No, actually, he did it the day before. He did it the day before, but the fact that he could do something like that, and I'm listening to it, the quality is amazing. And that's what I think is missing from a lot of the later Tupac stuff they did, you know, in terms of the posthumous releases. That type of energy that matches the beat. I mean, like you said, he was a producer. And he was also an actor. He knew how to just bring the energy to his albums or his songs. And I just think a lot of that gets lost in translation when they try to remix his music. But do you remember, like... Absolutely. And I've stated many a time in different interviews why some of his music had to be touched and touched up and changed. A lot of these were just ideas that were in the beginning stages, you know what I'm saying, of a song, and weren't fully, you know, ready to be released, or maybe even had any plans of being released. But you know, it's a nice lesson to, you know, our entertainers and, you know, just young black males in general. We tend to die without leaving a will. So when you die without leaving a will, you leave the control of your art. That's our truck. It is? Yeah. When you die without a will, you know what I'm saying, and you leave the control in other people's hands. But that's weird that Tupac knew he was going. I mean, he felt like he was going to die early, but he didn't. I mean, he was prepared in a lot of other ways, but he wasn't prepared for the will part. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lack of information, ignorance on our part. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of lessons to be learned from Pac's death.
not just him dying. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's not the only lesson. You feel me?
Yes, sir. I mean, I definitely. And also, I heard that he didn't really eat that many vegetables. He just loved chicken wings. He ate mostly chicken wings. Is that correct?
I mean, I've heard that said before, but Pac was a very healthy person. Now, as far as his diet, around that time, man, we all young. When you're young, you really don't pay attention to your diet. You don't start paying attention to your diet till you get into your 30s and 40s, and your body starts breaking down from all the years of abuse. You feel me?
That's right. That's definitely true. And I want to just touch on, they said, I know he said in Black Jesus, one of his lyrics, y'all, he wants people to smoke his ashes, right? Is it true y'all smoke his ashes?
Very true.
Oh, wow.
And it was taken from an Indian tradition, you know what I'm saying, of smoking one's ashes in a peace pipe when they pass.
Oh, man. How was the feeling? I mean, how did it differ from the regular just smoking? Was it different?
Man, it was 15 years ago. I don't really remember. I don't really remember how I actually felt. So, I hope that answers your question.
Nah, it definitely answers my question. I mean, it came from you. I mean, you was there. And I want to touch upon religion. I mean, was Tupac a religious person in your estimation?
It would seem so, judging from his lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, Pac was 100% authentic with what he wrote, you know what I'm saying, and how he felt. So you could definitely listen to the music and come up to that conclusion yourself.
And I want to ask you, what was it like when the night when he got shot? What were you positioned in the entourage?
I think there's enough information out there on that. For people that want to know the answer to that question, they can just go do some research.
And it's still okay, that's true. And also, Yaki Gaddafi. I mean, people still think that they don't understand what happened to him. They say he was the only person that came forward to want to share his information with the police about what he saw that night. And then he was dead.
That's also a misconception.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that rumor got started, but I've heard that a lot, but it's absolutely untrue. We all basically said the same thing.
I know people try to make his murder not too long after was connected to the shooting in Vegas. It's not true?
No.
Okay, and also I want to ask you in the end, how can a person book or organization book you all for an event, for a concert or performance?
Oh, you just hit us up. You can send us an email to Outlawz Biz, Outlawz with a Z, B.I.G. @gmail.com. Let us know what you're inquiring about. Someone will definitely get back to you.
That's excellent, man. And we can get the music, the new album, Perfect Timing, is available everywhere online, Amazon, iTunes, outlawmedias.net, everywhere.
Absolutely. And if you're having a problem at any of those websites, like I said, hit up outlawsmedia.net, Outlawz with a Z, media.net. We got the direct link to iTunes and Amazon. You just click the link on our opening page, and it'll take you right there.
And do you have any closing words or thoughts you'd like to share with our listening audience?
Oh, definitely. Thank you for your years of support. Everybody that's been, a Tupac and Outlaw fan, we appreciate y'all's support. We do it and continue to do it for y'all. Like I said, go on ahead and download those mixtapes. They free. Get that album, though. Pay for the album. Don't download that for free.
I heard that.
That's the one that helped pay the bill. So download that album, on iTunes, Amazon. You can follow us on Twitter @The Outlawz. And, we got the Facebook fan page, The Outlawz, and so on and so forth, man.
I mean, it's excellent. It's beautiful, man. Like I said, I feel like you all were some of my professors growing up. You teach me a lot of life lessons through your songs and whatnot. I just thank you immensely for continuing doing what you're doing and teaching another generation how to really think critically of their situation. In the words of the great Duke Ellington, we love you, manly brother E.D., and keep on doing what you're doing. And we'll definitely stay in touch.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man, and props to you for doing a bang-up job on the interview. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you definitely got a big future in that, man. You do a good job.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. I know we're going to meet again, and hopefully I can help you all out and get the word out on some other things as well.
Man, let's do it. Let's stay in contact with each other, man. You got my number.
Yes, sir. We'll go. Keep your head up. I'll keep my head up. I definitely going to do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir. You take care, man.
All right, have a good one.
All right. I will. Thank you.